In this video, we're building a do-it-yourself C-table that can be used as a laptop desk or a small side table for your couch. You can find all of the parts used in this build in the description below. Stay tuned for a full tutorial. To get started with this build, we need to first mill the 5/4 walnut lumber that'll be used as the main panels for our table. The overall dimensions for this table will be 18 by 15 by 26 inches, so I'll cut all of the boards slightly oversized about 1/8 of an inch to make the glue up easier. Once the boards are cut to a rough length, I'll rip them down on the table saw to their final width. The 5/4 lumber is 6 inches wide, so I'll rip them down to 5 inches and use 3 boards for each panel. These are pretty standard dimensions for a C table, but they can be adjusted depending on your space or your couch. The final step for milling is to bring them down to the final thickness of 1 inch for each board. For this process, you'll need to use a thickness planer as the 5/4 boards from Osborne are unsurfaced on the face sides. If you don't have access to a planer in your shop, you can use the 4x1 true stock lumber from Osborne, which is a true S4S board. Just be sure to adjust your dimensions accordingly. Once your lumber is milled to size, determine the orientation of all of your boards and glue up all 3 panels using wood glue. Remove any excess glue squeeze out with a damp rag and let the panels dry in clamps. Once the panels are dry, you can sand any remaining glue spots before moving on to the next step. Before assembling the table, I want to add a few details to enhance the look of the build. First, I'm going to add a large roundover on 2 corners of the panels to match the leg that we're going to be adding in the center later. To do this, I made a very simple router template to use as a guide and then cut the rough shape out on a bandsaw. Once the corners are roughly cut, we can clamp the template to the workpiece and use a flush trim router bit to trace the profile. This will ensure each corner has the same radius when complete. The last detail I'm adding is a 1/4 inch roundover on the outside edges to soften the look of the table. These details aren't necessary for your build but can enhance the look of the final product. To assemble this table, I'm going to be using wood dowels so that no fasteners will be seen in the end. I'll mark out 3 dowel locations on each panel, making sure that they line up flush when complete. Next, I'll adjust the depth of my drill bit depending on the thickness of my material and use a centering jig for the center panel. For the top and bottom panels, I'll use a drill press, making sure to adjust my drill bit depth accordingly. This can be done with a hand drill, but make sure to keep the dowel holes as straight as possible when drilling. Next, I'll dry fit the pieces together so that I can measure for the center support leg. Since the top and bottom panels are 1 inch thick, the interior height of this build is 24 inches long. Adding a center support leg at this length will give the table more strength and avoid any deflection due to the design. For the leg, we chose part 194066 on our website. This is a 24 1/4 inch round end table leg, so we'll cut a 1/4 inch off using a miter saw, and that will give us a perfect fit for the interior of our table. Next, I'll mark the location for the leg and install 2 more dowels for attachment. Make sure these dowel locations are centered on the top and bottom panels to ensure the leg is square with the rest of the table. We can now assemble the table using the wood dowels and wood glue in each of the connecting locations. Once dry, the table should have good strength while still allowing for proper wood movement. The last detail I want to add to this build is to route some cup holders in the top of the table. I created another simple router template that will allow me to repeat the cut on each side of the tabletop. Using a templating bit and a small handheld trim router is a great way to accomplish this. Just make sure to adjust your template depending on the size of your machine. Now that the build is complete, we can sand the table to 150 grit and apply a wood finish. Be sure to sand your project thoroughly to avoid any issues when applying finish. For our project, we're using Rubio monocoat, so we'll start by wiping all of the wood grain down with mineral spirits to remove any dust or oil from the surface. Next, we need to thoroughly mix the two-part finish together, and then we can apply using a white Scotch-Brite pad. This is a great natural finish for walnut, but feel free to use the finish of your choice on your project. Osborne offers the 5/4 project lumber in multiple wood species, so be sure to check out the link below to choose the best fit for your project. Once the Rubio is applied, we need to buff out as much excess oil on the surface as we can using a dry rag. Now that our table is finished, we can take a closer look at the final product. Thank you for joining me for this video. If you're interested in any of the parts used in this build, you can check them out in the links below. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment, and we'll see you next time in the Builder Studio.